Yeah, it went off, so I hope we got in the video. I have to keep checking this part like
Yeah.
this. We are like such a creativity. I think like this is better. Anyway, so I came to uh, like path of yoga, or I, to be honest, even now when I think about it, I was always in that path because yoga is a life that we live, right? It's just there was no asana, physical maybe activities for me for now. But before that, I didn't understand. And then now, yes, I took a refuge and I'm into the Buddhism. So I'm learning still. I'm not the good best disciple, but I'm learning. So, like, when I see lots of yoga practitioner, because I would not call them a yogi, because that word is such a big word for me to like like describe, oh, I'm yogi or you are yogi, because I don't see that essence yet, or find a person that is truly yogi. And for them, like the sunnata, like, but when I see, like, when I went to India for just recently to practice and all these things, but there is something like that pride, that, oh, I'm this, like, I'm that. I'm like, why, like our mind, right? Doesn't it, it has to be connect with mind and soul, body, because this body is also not ours, right? As you say, there is nothing is permanent. And when we describe about the emptiness, like you say that it's like this is a finger, but what is finger? And then there is a skin, but what is the skin? Then there is a fascia, what is fascia? There's nerves and all these things, but when you really dig deep into it, there's nothing, right? To find that, it's kind of, I don't know how to say, but why we have this kind of ego and pride, lots of also the practitioner.
Yeah, so this is the main cause. The main cause is, we call it ignorance. So whenever we have the ignorance, so all these things always with us. And that is the reason why we always like a turning, you know, like a wheel. And that's what we call, or this is the samsara or the cycling existence. So existing means we always exist as an impermanence. The cycling means it's always like a, turning like a wheel. And why we are, the samsara again and again, so because of the, ignorance. And whenever you have an ignorance and then attachment and the anger, would be there. So internal speaking, your body, it doesn't mean only your head or your legs or your hands. So when you say body, the two hands, you know, two legs, head, everything become a body. So without that, we don't call, and that is the body. You know. Likewise, and because of this ignorance, and then the attachment, the anger should be there. Because these three, it's a very connected to each other. And so that's why even if you go to the monastery and out of the main entrance to the shrine room, so sometimes we call it the second existing mandala. So in the center of the second existing mandala, we draw, there's a three different kind of animals. One is pig, snake, and one is a bird. So snake representing as anger, uh, bird representing as attachment, and then the pig representing as ignorance. And then the three animals are holding each other. So that means it's very connected to each other. The main cause is, uh, ignorance, as I said before.
That's true.
And whenever you have the ignorance, the attachment, the anger should be there. And then how it related with your own body. So because of the ignorance, and then you will uh, grasp yourself or I or me, because I'm calling myself selection, I am, or me, selection. And then whenever there is a I or me, and then automatically, second level is my. If there's no I, there's no mine. The reason is why it's my, because there's I. Then my family, my things, my relatives, my brother and sister, the siblings. And then when something happens with my things, you won't be happy. You become unhappy because of the attaching. You attach to those people, the people who you class as a my things.
Yes, that's
Okay?
true.
And then related to the anger, and if someone do something bad with my person or my things, my property, the things or the person which belongs to me, and that is the anger. You don't need to find far away. So you don't need to find, oh, where's the attachment? You don't need to look for it. It's already there. And also the anger is the same. You don't need to find someone who hurts you, And even if someone is hurting you or doing something bad to your own, like a people,
Mm.
which is we call mine, and then there's
It's
anger.
an
The
expectation.
anger, yeah, the anger is already there, and it's true. Why it's all the time stitching with our own minds since in the primary time because of the ignorance. And that's why in the Buddhist perspective, we call it the 12 ending originations, you know. And the second is when there is ignorance, anger, attachment, then as soon as someone's born or come to the world, that is we call it a ke, to be born, and na is to be sick, and ka means as soon as you born, you will get old and old. Means older and older. It's getting old age. And then at the end, what will happen is no one can live without dying. And this four is the result of the
Yeah.
ignorance. And whenever you abandon the ignorance, the attachment, the anger will be, purifying, or you can abandon these things. But as soon as you are not trying to abandon this ignorance, then you cannot abandon the two attachment anger. And as soon as you're not able to abandon these two, and then get ganachi, burn, getting old, sickness, and the dying, these four you cannot, you know, release or purify from yourself. And this is the reason why it's connected with the mind, one's mind. So in general speaking, in the world, there's a lot of different kind of yoga. And also in the Tibetan Buddhism, we have a yoga. But in Tibetan perspective, the Tibetan Buddhism perspective, yoga means the main yoga is come from the yoga in Sanskrit,
Yes.
and in Tibetan we call it no jo pa or ma.
No,
It depends on the how do you say,
reason.
it depends on the male or female, what I call,
Oh, okay.
if it is the person is a man, then nachopa, and if the person is a female, it's a nachoma. So nil means the mind state, the
Mm.
natural mind state. Jo means after you practice, if you can reach in that level, that's a not jo, and pa is as a noun, you know, pronounce. So not yoga. And that we call it a real yogi.
Mm.
It doesn't mean whatever you do and this is the main yoga. But somehow you can say, oh, this is yoga and I'm the yogi. You can say, but
Yeah.
when you go to in the deeper or in the tantric practice, so that's not really because the things what we're doing now, this is more related with the exercise.
Yes, that's true.
How to you keep the ones can keep the fit you know, um,
the
try
body
to,
level.
yes, the body levels and
But
also the mind states.
yeah, but when we practice asana, I
Mm,
mean, of course, it's really a body level. But there is also, if we really practice in a correct way,
mm,
right? Like you have to add a pranayama, the breathing,
mm,
and then you have a drishti, the gaze points, so your gaze is there. You are not distracted, and then of course that body movements are there, right? Then it becomes really meditative. But the thing is, now we have so much ego. Oh, this person can do. Why can't I? Right? So we are like trying to force ourselves,
mm,
and then in that moment, our body is not ready, and then there is a mind. It's not ready, but we
yeah,
are like body is saying something, mind is saying something, and we are trying to like bind it, but it's not working. And that's my perspective. Not
mm,
maybe not every yoga practitioner will agree on me, because there are so many, they will say, oh, use your mind, it's all in your mind. In that moment I felt like, and I got hurt, my muscles got clear,
yes,
it was such a deep, and they just came and then say, oh, it's all in your mind, but it's not in my only my body, because I have a problem on my hip socket, it's not moving, so it's not just my mind. My mind is like, yes, I can go, but my body is not ready for it, right? And they just come and it's like boom, and the tearing happened, and I was
yeah,
like, wow.
okay,
And now I cannot even practice. No,
yeah,
and the thing is like, what I wanted to say is like, when we practice such a mindfully, but also listening to our body and connecting that breath in such a moment, we forget to breathe, right? When it comes to hard asanas, we forget. But the thing is, why it's not about comparing ourselves to even others. It's about comparing ourselves to own self. Like, oh, yesterday I was able to do, but today why I'm not? So I'm just like forcing it.
mm,
You know?
yes, and that's why. That's also, yeah, you're right, and this is what's happening in the world nowadays. There are a lot of people they do uh, through these things, uh, depending on the mind and also depending on the body. So my point is, mind is just like a guest, and then body is kind of like a guest house.
Yeah.
But somehow when you stay in the guest house, until you're staying there, you're paying, and then the houses are more your own. Once you're left, the houses or the guest house is not your anymore. So likewise, our body is just a guest house of our mind. So when we do practice, I say everything depends on the minds until also what the people they're doing, that is just we call like a aspiration practice.
Yes. That's how I
Always we
feel.
think, but in the reality, until you're not changing, you're not transforming your mind, the mind which is impure into pure. So then we are not in that level yet. It doesn't matter how much or how many months, how many years,
Or where you are.
so you practice until you're not transforming your mind, which is impure to pure. So it's not really working. But when you look at the person, so it looks or it seems or the person is doing really good job. He's practicing every day. From the inner point of view, until the person is not changing, and it's not really working.
Yeah.
But we can say the aspiration prayer or aspiration things is also very important, and that's why that is we call it a more related with the relative truth. you know. So the mind which is impure to pure means until you're not stopping, you know, until you're not abandoning the ignorance, the attachment, the anger, and then the practice never go in that levels. So for that, and also beside that, in the Buddhist perspective, so first we call it a three excellent. Without this, you just wake up, you just go in the
Practice.
practice.
Yeah.
That's okay, but it's not really that
I
much
mean,
working.
people are just like funny. They wake up, they drink
Yes.
coffee, because
Yeah.
coffee gives that such an energy that I think we should not do that. I don't know, in my perspective,
Yes. Yes.
because it
Yes.
has so much impact that, yeah, when I drink coffee and
Mm.
practice yoga, oh, my practice is like another level. It's beautiful,
Yeah,
but it's
that's okay.
yeah, but it's like at the end, then it's not like such a me, like that mindfulness as we talk about, like that mindfulness or like the emptiness that I really go through that in a deep spiritual level. But when I practice without coffee, right, my body is like really rigid. And then it's like I'm forcing it for 15 minutes. Even today, I was like, I don't want to wake up, and I was like just sleeping, and I was like 10 minutes sleep, 10 minutes, and then I was like at the end, okay, no, I have to go. And then in the mat, I was like, no, I don't want to practice. I don't want to practice. But it's still pushing. But after 15 minutes, it just becomes really nice. And then I feel good. And after that, I don't want to even stop.
Hmm.
You know, in coffee, it has a different level. So I don't know. It's very different for me how I see, I guess.
For me, it doesn't matter. If
Doesn't
you
matter.
think after
Okay.
drinking coffee, if your body is in that level,
Mm-hmm.
that's a one good thing.
Yeah.
I'm not against with that. That's
Yeah.
okay. The main thing when you practice, how your mind is working
Yeah.
or reacting on the practice. Like, for example, you say, okay, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Because what is happening
Yeah.
in the Buddhist, the Tibetan Buddhist perspective, or in the Mahayana or Vajrayana perspective, so the reason why you feel that because you don't have I mean, you really don't have that the first level, which is we
Yeah.
call it a three excellent. The
Mm-hmm.
first excellent is a preparation. So preparation means whatever you do, you have to prepare before
Yeah.
you start the
Yeah.
thing. And for that, your motivation should be bodhicitta. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So bodhicitta means not only for oneself,
But to
so
everyone.
you have to dedicate to all mother sentient beings. You know, if you believe the past life and future life, then definitely there should be every life you have
Oh.
parents. And then how many lives you live, and it depends. And that's why. So we call all the mother sentient beings. So because we always connected to each other. So that's why if you do yoga or if you meditate or whatever you do, before you do that practice, always you have to have that kind of motivation. So I will do tomorrow these things, and in generally I'm doing these things not only because of myself. I told you before, whenever you say I, then mine comes.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's true.
but now you have to change. So this is not for myself. And then what you can do, and I'm doing for all mother sentient beings, and then you already included there. So this is what we call the preparation, such as bodhicitta, the motivation. So with the bodhicitta, and if you do practice, and then if you have this strongly in your mind, then you always get up on time.
Yeah.
If you think, oh, just for myself, then sometimes when you feel lazy, okay, then do this, and there's a lot of different things,
Oh,
you know.
that makes
And
a lot
then,
of sense.
yes, and the second excellent, we call it the actual way. So with these bodhicitta preparations or motivation, then you have to come in actual, which is when you have to put in action. You have to do it with you, not only what do you call?
Prepare a mind
Yeah, prepare
level.
in mind or expression. So, and after you do, either it's good or bad, and how much you accumulate the merits, and then the third excellent is the dedications. And if you don't dedicate, like for example, if you do Korah, and if you think, oh, this is such a good virtue, or this is such a good bad, and then how much you accumulate the merits while you're doing Korah, and then you have to dedicate. And dedicate means not only for yourself, not only for your family members, you
But
have
for
to
all the
dedicate to all the
I
non-sentient
think now you
beings.
have to explain. Maybe many of people will not know what is Quora means, so you have to explain that. Till then, I
Okay,
will check my phone also.
so yeah,
Okay, it's on. Yeah. So
Korah.
many people are. I know so many people have joined and maybe have commented, but I will reply. We will reply
Yeah.
after our conversation and all these things. So yeah, as I say that many of us, lay people, not everybody is Buddhism, right? Even in Buddhism, many people will not know what is a Kora means. So I think you have to give a little bit introduction on that part.
Okay. So before that, I want to complete the third excellence.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
And the dedication, why we need the dedication. And the dedication doesn't mean just for oneself. And dedication means for other. Because the happiness comes from other, suffering comes by your own.
Yes.
And that's why this is one reason. The second one is if you give an example, like a drop of water, you know, and especially in the hot sun, if you drop the drop of water into the dry land, and the second sun is the hot sun, when they meet, the drop of water, it's a second. It takes just a second to dry, you know. So likewise, so after we do Korah and how many, virtue we accumulate, if you don't dedicate, and the virtue is just like a drop of water, you know. And then just like a sun is our anger, as soon as we get a small anger, uh, then the virtue will be gone. So that's why. And then if you put the drop of water into the oceans, so it doesn't matter how the sun is strong, the ocean, cannot dry. It takes, and until the ocean is not over, the drop of water is still there. So this is the example. Likewise, and how much we accumulate the merits, if you dedicate to all mother sentient beings for the benefit for them, then how much you get angry, so the anger cannot destroy the virtue, after you dedicate. And that's what these three excellence is very important. Without these three, and no one, can go in that level, even how much they do practice.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
then also the preparation time, and we call it uh, pay homage or take a refuge and bodhicitta. And without these two, there's no practice. Okay. And so now you're asking like a Kora. So also when you go to Kora, and before you go to Kora, you need the first preparation, the excellent. So let's say you are home, you are thinking, okay, so I have a time, I want to do Kora. Yeah. So that's it's a preparation somehow. But at the same time, what kind of motivation you need? Why I have to go to the Quran? It's just because of myself or just because of other. So if you think myself, and that's okay, it's good. I didn't mean it's completely bad. It's okay. But if you motivate with, uh, if you motivate for all mother sentient beings, and that's it's a more wider.
Yes.
And then when you go in the actual in the action, so Quora is normally to the circle.
Circle, yes.
So circle means uh, the mainly in the clockwise. And the reason is it's simply, and we believe that on the left is more related with the relative truth, and the right is more related with the ultimate. Or the left is more like a method, and then right is more related with wisdom.
Oh,
So wisdom, like for example, if you have a bunch of like you know a wood or whatever, but if you want to destroy these things, and then you have to make a fire. So fire can destroy the things. So the wisdom is like that. So if you want to destroy all your poisonous, so without wisdom, only method can do that.
yeah.
Okay. So Quora, and that's why we always go the right is first.
Yes.
Even if you while you practice and when you're talking about the puzzle post, the left leg should be first, and then right leg should be on top of the this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when we're
Like you are
talking.
talking about Padmasana.
Yeah,
Because I have a problem, right?
yeah,
So I used to like, because of my
yeah,
problem,
yeah.
I could not put my right first,
But
because in yoga asana you have to put right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
So
then
I
it
used
doesn't
to
matter.
always do this, because it's like it makes much little bit easier for
Yeah,
me
yeah,
on
yeah,
my right,
yeah,
because then it's like
yeah,
kind of I can sit more longer. If I do
yeah.
right, oh my god, it kills me a
Okay.
lot.
So for that,
Oh wow.
you have to go under, and then you should be on the right.
Oh,
When you see the Padmasambhava statue,
mm-hmm.
the right is all
Oh
stretching.
yes, it
Yeah.
is always,
When
yeah.
you're talking about when you see the Quintara, and also the right
Yes,
is a
see,
stretching.
yes.
So this is the thing. So when we're
But
talking about the 7 point of my
yes,
trend,
but in yoga, it's always they say. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? The right,
this says man.
but in yoga they will always say, "Oh no, first right," and then
No.
the last one will
Yeah,
be,
this is the right.
"This is the right," will
Yeah,
say.
this is
But in
right, and
yoga,
the
when we
right should
practice,
be.
we will be like this first,
Okay,
right?
this is not.
No.
No, in
Oh
Buddhism,
wow.
this is not. And this is the first, the 7 point of,
Okay.
from according to the 7 point
Okay,
of my
and
training.
there is two more questions.
Okay, so first I will complete, okay? So, the Korah, and then we have a different kind of practice. So the first level for the ordinary persons, we call like the primary practice, primary
Okay.
practice, or preliminary practice. Okay, I'm sorry. The first one is wrong. Preliminary practice. Okay,
Okay, it's okay.
so sometimes it's a little
No,
bit.
it's fine.
Okay,
This is a good thing.
preliminary practice as much as you can to Korah,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the reason why. First, we call it body, speech, mind, right?
Yeah.
And then preliminary practice is how you mind, you know, through your body. And that's what we're doing this kind of things for. And then second is your frustrating,
Yep.
frustrations.
Prostration.
And frustration has a two different. One is half and one is
Yeah, I
long.
realized
Okay?
that.
But the meaning is the same, but the longest is a little bit more,
Difficult.
you're making more effort. According to your effort, it's better. But it doesn't mean the half one is it's not good.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that, but if you can do the full one, it's good. But also there is, every each time there is a meaning. When you palm
Mm-hmm.
together, this palm, I told you left
So we do like
connected, yeah.
this,
So
and this,
yes,
and then
left,
prostrate.
yes, left connected with the method, right
Wisdom.
connected with the wisdom. So when you put together method and wisdom is united. Okay. So this is we call like a emptiness mantra or the peace mantra. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Or a jewels mudra,
Yeah.
we call it mudra. And then first, when you put here on the crown, that is your body. Okay, and then you have to put on
Here,
the
yeah.
throat, that is speech. Thought is you're on the between chest, that's it's a mind.
Okay.
Okay, and then at the
Body,
same
space,
time,
mind.
mind, and at the same time, you have to visualize your deity or your root master is
Yeah.
in front of you, and the distance is no longer than a meter. And then the root master is surrounded by the all previous 3 times Buddha and Bodhisattva.
Mm.
And at the same time, you have to visualize yourself, and you are surrounded by all the mother sentient beings. From amongst the mother sentient beings, your present parent should be on your right and left. Your father is the right side, your mom is the left side, and then in generally, the enemy, oh, I don't like him, you always try to push in the back. But in this kind of practice, you always have to take the enemy
On the front.
in the front. Because without the enemy, you never get a chance to practice on
Yeah.
the patient. So that's why the enemy at that time is one of the main
Reason.
reason they're helping you to
Go.
practice on it. And
or maybe not. No, it's fine. We can talk.
Yeah, how many realms we have? Okay, six realms. Okay, three high and three lower. You know, like a human, demon gods, and god realm. This is high realms, and then animal realms, helping realms, and then hungry ghost realms,
Oh yeah.
and that's six realms. And you covering with all the
This one I'm have. Here you can connect that.
yeah, and then when you fully your body is down and your head is on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So that means you accepting your body is lowest than your deity or your masters.
Yeah.
And when you're touching your forehead to the ground, you have to visualize you're touching your forehead on the feet of your master and or Buddha and Bodhisattva. And that time you're lifting a little bit, you're pressing a little bit up. So that means, when your body is here, you're lifting a little bit up. So that means you have to visualize, all the mother sentient beings is, achieved to the Buddhahood.
Oh, okay.
And this is the practice. And Torah and this, and then sometimes where we do a mandala, you
Yeah.
know, and also reciting these four mandala. Also, you have to do as much as you can, every day. You're offering the mandala, and then the best thing is each day you should change the things what you're using in the mandala. So the best thing is barley or wheat, and that's a really good. And also can add some like jewelries in there, so
Oh.
they will be much better. Not only barley and wheat, okay?
Mhm.
But the rice is a little bit weird. But sometimes at the place where you are, if you can find these things, you can use it. Or corn, you know.
Yeah, I need to learn this
Yes,
dish.
and this all four we call like a preliminary practice. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the reason why we drink cola. So cola means actually you purifying your body's non-virtue actions. And at the same time, when you drink cola, and if you, without distracting, if you recite the mantras, so that means you purifying your speech, uh, the non-virtue actions. The speech non-virtue action means when you get angry, you use bad
Yeah.
words. And that is the non-virtue actions. And body, you do a lot of things. Sometimes when you're walking, kill animals. So sometimes you do a lot of bad things, and that's what body. And then at the same time, when you drink cola, so if you are not distracting and your mind is focusing on the visualization, whatever you visualize, and that's you're trying to refine the body's, the mind's language actions, and it's three level. So Quran means how you refine your deeds. So this is what we call this simply, and these are the meaning of the Quran.
Okay. So I have two questions,
Okay.
but first I will ask related to Quora, because we always do. I mean, I used to also think like that, right?
Mm,
Like either one time, one circle, or one Quora,
mm,
or you do three. Always
mm.
odd number. But then I remember somebody told me that no, it doesn't matter. You don't count. You do as much as you can, right? Because I remember that. So like, what is the meaning, or like because some people will like, no, no, you have to do one or three or seven, always odd number, not like just two, or like the, I don't know.
Yeah, for me, this is your first question,
Yeah,
right? So
that's my
according
question.
to the two questions. So for me, this is just creating by your own minds. Actually, when you're talking about the practice, there's no limits. We can practice until we are not enlightened. There's no limits. Okay? But sometimes we call it a session. So when we're talking about a session, if you can do a full session, because the full session, it can cover almost 24 hours. But as ordinary persons, and we need some rest. Why? But it doesn't mean that because of the attachment with your own body. Because if I don't rest, and that is also, it depends on the motivations. If you think, oh, my body will get worse and I need, and that is more related to your attachment, your own body. But your motivation should be, if I don't take a rest, then my body become worse. And then if my body become worse, I cannot practice. If you always think on that way, so that's it's a good motivation. And if you can practice, then I can do any beneficial to all medicine. That is the good, we call it a motivation. So about the number, we don't either it's called or odd number. So that's right. But a lot of people say, oh, you cannot do like a
Yes.
code number, matching number because it's not good. But in Buddhist perspective, it's not, you know, it's not true. It doesn't matter, but you have to do it. But while you're doing this either kora or either you're offering mandala or either you're doing processions or either you're reciting the mantras, you have to check again and again. If your mind is more and more distracting while you're doing these things, then better you have to stop.
Mm.
That's we believe. Because while you're doing these things, if your mind is distracting, so that means it doesn't work. You know? And also when you are doing meditations, if your mind is completely like dissolving into your body, that's also not good. That's what we call like a jingwa. You know,
Jingwa.
jing means really dissolving into your mind, and there's nothing. It's just mind is a little bit more relaxed and calm. It really doesn't mean that meditation. The meditation means so the best things you need to focus on something, and then while you're focusing on something, it doesn't matter how many thoughts are coming. Just let it come, then let it come. But you have to analyze while the thought is coming, whether you're attaching or you're angry, or what your mind's doing there while the thoughts that you have to recognize. Okay? So sometimes people sit there hour and hour, like for example in Hinayana or in the Zen Buddhist or Theravada or whatever. So they have a rules, like 10 hours in a day. But I don't mean that's bad, and I'm not against with that. But if you believe that you're a beginner or you're ordinary persons, doing 10 hours is, I don't think it's a good idea. So in the Buddhist, what we call no longer than a minute. If you're a beginner, check, check always, you know. So 1 hour you meditate, and then while within a minute while you're practicing or while you're meditating, if your mind is distracting again and again, take a rest. And you do as much as you can. Take rest and again practice, take break, again practice. But there is no fixed limit or 10 hours. You're not allowed going out, you're not allowed taking break. You have to do. This is not a good idea. Okay? That's the one reason. And then also the Quora, just a number. This is just a number. Okay. So when we're doing practice, the preliminary practice, minimum's 100,000 minimum. But some people also they think, oh, I done 100,000 frustration, or I done 100,000 offering mandala, or I done 100,000 doing Kora, or I done 100,000 recite the mantra. And then now they think, oh, now it's I'm finished, I'm done. And I don't need to do that again. That is also wrong. You know,
Because
there's no limit. You know, The preliminary practice is more related with the method.
Yeah.
Then after that, you can go more actual uh, practice. And also, according to the practice, while you're doing like in the actual practice, better if you can go in the remote area. That will be much better. And if you are doing in the city or in the town, then you have to make sure that there is no one allowed to come to see you. And also you have to take a promise that I don't want to. Now, this is, yeah, because this is the cause of distraction. So when you see people, your mind become like a colorful,
Yeah,
like
that's
a
true.
rainbow. And then, this is the reason why we need a solitary place, And that's why in the practice of the Bodhisattva, so we say abandoning your own hometown, uh, abandoning your own family members, even sometimes we call like abandoning your wife or your husband just for a practice. So that's why you have to abandon the things where you increasing distractions, and then that's why you have to go in the remote area where it's not disturbed anymore. So this is about your number. There's no limits. And second question,
Just a moment, I will check my phone because it's so heat. I hope it's not dead. Yep, it's not dead, but I will move a little bit. Okay. I will change here. Wow, what a nice way I'm recording this video.
so what you can do,
Perfect.
you can put your shawl out there,
Yeah, I was thinking
and
like
then
that.
so
Wow.
just relax.
Everything is like
No, no,
going
just here to cover, here to cover
Ah.
the sun.
this way.
A little bit here. If it can cover the sun.
Is it covering now?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then it's not gonna be heat.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Somebody say hello. I'll say yes, hi. We are just like recording ourselves, putting on. Not even a selfie stick is like there. Like that's why I cannot. We
This
cannot,
is
right?
Aruna coffee. So coffee with the Aruna.
And, oh, what do you mean my coffee? Aruna's. Remember, there is no Aruna. It's just a name.
Yeah,
So
but
now you
sometimes,
are.
sometimes we have to come back in the post
Yeah, that's true.
But
And this one is
definitely there's
also
Aruna.
blinking. Why it's blinking?
Hmm, it's working.
I don't know. Let me see. Oh, it's blinking. Wow. Should we um, end our topic here then? And maybe we can continue other day?
Yeah.
Or we can end the topic with this, I guess. And then we can continue other time, no? This one is also blinking. Wow. Why? Okay. I think maybe I bring my phone better, right?
No, that's okay. I think it doesn't matter even if it's blinking.
It's working stuff, you think? Right. Let me check here. If anybody is there, you think our how to say, our voice is coming through it? Because we realize our microphone is like kind of blinking it. So I don't know how to. I should type, right?
Yeah, anyone can hear the sound.
Can anybody hear the sound? Uh, I don't know. Hello.
But this is orange.
Yeah, I would love to eat. So, uh, I don't know. I don't think. Even if it's not working, it should be fine. Or I can take this
Yeah, we
out.
can talk a little bit, then we can stop for a while.
I can take out this, maybe.
No,
No.
just let it go.
Are you sure?
Yeah, and then the next time we can talk more. Yeah, but you have to make sure with your show, it
That's
doesn't
fine.
blow.
Camera is
The wind,
fine.
so don't have power.
Let's do this way, and yeah.
Okay, so what
So
was your second question?
I think I don't know if it's working, so I think I will keep that second question for next time.
Okay.
Because we have a lot to talk, especially on Vajra Yogi, right? Vajra Yogini, Vajra Yogi, I don't know,
Yeah.
like the topic, I will say Tantra. Like most of us, like kind of not neglection actually. It's not neglect, but taken as such a, I don't know. Can I say wrong way? No.
Let's try and then
No, not right way. I will say that word.
yeah.
Not wrong way, right?
Yeah.
In this generation or whatever, I will say, like we have take this word tantra yoga or practice in such a way that doesn't define the depth or the origin meaning to it, but rather to something else that is how to say, it's kind of ruining the name itself, for me, in my opinion. I'm sure in like millions of people doesn't agree on that part also because they are following this, but for me, in my opinion, yes, it's kind of like going kind of away from its origin meaning and practice as well, rather than focusing on that. But as I say that, like we could like maybe make our own modern way of practice or call the name rather than just taking something that is ancient.
Yeah, whatever you create, either it's a modern or old spiritual way, the main thing, the definition should be there. You know, the definition should be there.
That's
So when we're talking about the tantric practice or Vajrayana practice, so there's a lot of people practicing on the perfect level in the Vajrayana practice. So how much you practice, if you can follow with this way, so you have to have, so first, Guru Yoga. If you're doing practice the Vajrayana without any of this four, the category, the fourth category is first Guru Yoga. Without Guru Yoga, if you practice the Vajrayana, tantric, whatever, and it really doesn't work. And the second is if you are the tantric or Vajrayana practitioners, if you're practicing without your deity, it doesn't work. And the third one is if you practice this, and if you practice without the Diogenes, it doesn't work.
Oh.
And if you practice this, and if you practice without the protector, okay? So why we need this? Because sometimes there might be circumstances, struggle, and that is the reason why we are following with this four.
Oh.
So without this four, if you're practicing on that, just you're just practicing, but there's no result come through.
Like
So that's why.
coming to yoga practice without.
So whatever. Mainly I'm talking about the tantric or
Yeah.
Vajrayana. So while you're practicing, first you have to follow. You have to mention that your master is always on your forehead, on your palm, always sitting there. And then second is the deity, Diogenes, and then protect. Yeah. So this is and then whatever you grasp, there is nothing good and bad. Everything is equally same. Not like in Mahayana or Sutrayana. In the Sutrayana, we call it the method and the wisdom, all relative and ultimate facts.
Okay, so I think for today, yeah, you wanna say bye bye first? So anyway, somebody's phone is ringing and I have to go. So I think we'll carry on this topic next time. I don't know when. I cannot promise when because we are kind of also busy. But I will make sure that we'll really come back and then carry on this topic. So hope you guys enjoyed and you know learn a little bit something. So point of this making this video and going on live was because we not the monks and all maybe also monks, we lay people especially, we are like really practicing as a yoga practice or Buddhism or Hinduism or any practice, we are going away, like from the more spiritual level. We should be coming, but we are going away from the spiritual level. That's what I feel. And we are building something that is called religion, something having this ego, this whatever. So anyway, my mic is going to die, so I don't want to talk long. So hope to see you next time. And please do support my channel. This is very new channel, Yoga Aruna. So yep, have a beautiful day from my side, and I think you can say some words. The mic is like almost dying. It. What do you want to say?
Well, guys,
It's working. Okay.
the main reason, to be honest, even I'm a little bit okay
It's
on
off.
that.
Okay, no, it's not off.
Even I'm a little bit okay on that. The embarrassing thing is my English. That's the big
Our
problem.
both.
But if she really wants to hear in the Tibetan language, and then I'm sure maybe
Much better.
99.9% I can explain more detail.
Oh,
and
then we
much
can do
better,
that next time.
Much better, you know. So that's why I'm a little bit, up and down. So I hope you people loved it. And if there's any questions, you really want to hear, or you really want to know, and then please don't forget to comment there.
Yes.
And also, if you like it, subscribe, share,
Support.
But it really doesn't mean the supporting for oneself, because if you think the topic is good, and this is also being dedicated to sentient beings. But there is not a single sentient being who never been your parents. So the benefiting to all sentient beings is always on the top level.
And next time we can do on Tibet.
Yeah. But this is, I'm not talking about just because of the famous. So take your time and don't forget and wait for the next.
In a
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye bye.
Have a good time.
And it's wow.
This is
It's 1 hour.
exactly 1 hour.